So I just think I found something really interesting to share with you all because it demonstrates perfectly how you should be beheading your succulents if you want to create more plants or if you want to get them more bushy and create clusters. So the plant in question is this, and while it may not look like much at the moment, I will show you what it was before and what we're looking at exactly. So let's rewind a little bit. This is what the plant looked like before I took my scissors to it, and it is a cultivar called Graptoveria Lovely Rose. Now, I chose this plant for a video where I talked about tall succulents and what to do with them if they get too leggy for one reason or another. Graptoveria Lovely Rose is a beautiful cultivar, but there is one problem with it, and that is its growth habit. So sometimes it will not produce branches and it just grows like this one tall stalk and a rosette on the top of it. Now the problem is that this top head just gets a little bit too heavy and eventually it will fall down to the ground and starts trailing. And it's not all too bad, so you can kind of leave it like that and keep it growing and just kind of trailing randomly. But for those of you that like the succulents looking neat, this plant will need topping or beheading. Now the reason why there are 3 stalks here is because I had 3 separate plants to behead. So they weren't one plant that was branched out, but it was 3 separate plants with 3 different root systems. And in the video I explained that I didn't really need more of this plant because I have a lot. So with these 2 little dead stalks, I just kind of took the whole rosette off without leaving any leaves. But with this one, I just left one single leaf. You can see what I've done. And this is about a month and a half later, and we have 4 little new rosettes. And this is exactly what happens when you behead succulents. Now, of course, there will be exceptions, but most of the time, if you top your succulents and you take the whole rosette off without leaving any leaves on it, they will just die. It will look very much like this. And it is not just this one particular cultivar, but I have seen it and I have done it many times over with other plants, and this is almost always the result. So yeah, this is what you would get. I would say it's pretty much 99%. But if you do behead with some leaves left, this is another lovely rose that I've got. It is still fairly fresh. It's got some roots, but I've planted it not very long ago. But this is where I've taken the original rosette off, and now I've got a nice little cluster of 3. So if you definitely want some more plants, you have to leave some leaves, and I will show you some more examples here. So this is a Echeveria bluebird, and it has grown a little bit too tall for my liking because I've had it in too much shade, and so this is what I've done to it. Now let me show you the same plant almost a year later. This is it, and as you can see, it has thrown out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 different rosettes just from that one plant. And also you get to plant the top, so in the end I ended up with 7 extra plants. And this is what you can easily do with pretty much any succulent. If you leave the leaves, you will get more growth. Now another important thing that I want to get back to is the separate plants. Now things are a little different when you're dealing with a multi-branched plant. So this is one plant. It has a lot of branches to it, and if they are all connected and share the same root system, you can take a whole branch off without leaving any leaves on the branch, and you will still get this. You will still get a lot of little offsets growing from where you've taken it off. So this is, I don't know if you can see, I've taken a branch off here, and I've got all of these little babies growing from that one one separate branch of this one big plant. But if it's a single plant like this, you will not get this. It is very, very unlikely that you will get this same effect on a single plant. So there are a few cultivars, succulent cultivars, that you may come across that are similar to the lovely rose, and that would be, for instance, Aeonium. So this guy, it's a cultivar called Big Bang. You can't really see it, but it grows red and green leaves, and I would very much like to encourage it to grow more offsets. And in this case, you don't really have a lot of, oh, there's a spidey living in here. You don't really have a lot of stalk left here to cut off and also leave behind a few leaves at the bottom with the stalk. And I think I'm just going to cut it off about halfway through and let the bottom stalk die off. Now with Aeoniums, it will kind of work out in the end. So I've done the same with this Aeonium. It was just one tall rosette and I wanted babies, so I just took off the whole section and left the bottom to die off, and it's already growing a lot of little babies. So sometimes it will work out and you will get more growth on the top even though you let the bottom die off. But if it is easy and you can, and you want more rosettes or more offsets, it is always best to leave at least a couple of leaves off. The more you leave, the better your chances for new growth. So yeah, that is all I wanted to show you today. I hope it was useful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching.